There are places in America designed not to welcome people, but to make sure certain people can never escape. Hidden behind layers of concrete, steel, surveillance systems, and controlled movement is a federal prison built for inmates considered among the most dangerous and difficult to manage. Here, every door, corridor, and routine exists for one reason: security. This is the world of America's highest security federal prison system, where isolation and control become part of everyday life. Deep in the Colorado landscape stands the facility commonly known as ADX Florence, a prison built to contain inmates who authorities believe require extraordinary security measures. Its architecture is unlike an ordinary prison. Thick concrete walls separate highly controlled units, electronic systems monitor movement, and prisoners can spend much of their daily lives inside individual cells. The design minimizes uncontrolled contact and gives staff the ability to regulate nearly every movement. But the real story is not simply about concrete and locked doors. It is about why a prison like this was created in the first place. Over the years, the facility has housed people connected to terrorism, organized crime, espionage, and other serious federal offenses. Some inmates arrived with histories that made conventional prisons extremely difficult to manage. Others became security concerns because of their influence, escape risks, or conflicts with other prisoners. Inside these walls, time moves differently. Conversations may be limited. Movement is carefully controlled. Even ordinary routines can become highly structured events. For the people working there, constant attention is essential. For the prisoners, the environment can feel almost completely removed from the outside world. And behind that extraordinary security lies a question that has followed the prison since its creation. How far should a society go to contain the people it considers too dangerous for ordinary incarceration? To understand that question, we have to go back to the events and security concerns that helped shape this extraordinary facility. The story of America's most secure prison did not begin with a desire to build an ordinary correctional facility. It emerged from a growing concern that some federal prisoners could threaten security far beyond the walls of a conventional penitentiary. In the 1980s, a series of violent incidents and high-profile prison disturbances exposed weaknesses in the federal system. Authorities began searching for a new approach, one that could separate the most dangerous and disruptive prisoners from the wider prison population, while giving staff greater control over every movement. That vision eventually took shape in the remote high plains of Colorado. The facility, officially known as the United States Penitentiary Administrative Maximum Facility, was designed around a simple principle. Movement had to be predictable, controlled, and closely monitored. Instead of relying primarily on large shared spaces, the prison emphasized individual cells and carefully managed routines. Doors could be opened and secured remotely, prisoners could be moved through controlled passages, and communication with other inmates was deliberately restricted. The architecture itself became part of the security system. Thick concrete construction reduced visibility between sections, while layers of barriers and electronic controls created multiple points of protection. Surveillance technology allowed staff to monitor critical areas, while carefully structured schedules reduced opportunities for unauthorized contact. Even ordinary activities, from receiving meals to accessing recreation areas, could be organized according to strict procedures. For the people who designed the facility, this level of control was intended to solve a difficult problem. How do you safely imprison someone who may continue to pose a serious threat even after being placed behind bars? But extraordinary security comes with extraordinary consequences. The same walls designed to protect staff, inmates, and the public also create an environment where freedom, privacy, and human contact are severely limited. And as the prison began receiving some of the federal system's most notorious inmates, its reputation grew far beyond Colorado. What happens inside a prison built around almost total control becomes clearer when you look at the daily routine. At this facility, security is not simply a fence surrounding the building. It is a system woven into nearly every part of the day. Inmates are housed in individual cells, and movement outside those cells is carefully regulated. Meals, recreation, medical appointments, legal meetings, and other activities can involve controlled procedures designed to limit unnecessary contact and maintain order. For correctional officers, that environment demands constant attention. Every movement through a secure area has to be coordinated. Doors are opened and closed according to established procedures, locations are monitored, and staff must remain aware of what is happening around them. The prison's design allows officers to control access between different areas without relying on large groups of inmates moving freely through common corridors. In a facility where security concerns are exceptionally high, even an ordinary transition from one location to another can require planning. One of the most striking features is the limited interaction between prisoners. Unlike traditional correctional facilities with large communal yards or dining halls, this environment was designed to reduce opportunities for uncontrolled contact. Individual cells provide separation, while specially designed recreation spaces can allow inmates to spend time outside their cells without placing large numbers of people together. The result is a prison where physical distance itself becomes a security tool. But control has another dimension: observation. Cameras, electronic systems, secure doors, and carefully designed sightlines allow staff to monitor important areas throughout the facility. Technology does not replace human judgment, but it gives officers additional information when making security decisions. Every system has a purpose, and every procedure is intended to reduce uncertainty. Yet beneath this highly organized structure is a human reality. Long periods of separation can profoundly change how people experience time, communication, and ordinary social interaction. The prison was designed to manage extraordinary security risks, but its methods raise difficult questions about isolation, rehabilitation, and the balance between public safety and human contact. Those questions become even more complicated when the names of the people held here are considered. By the time the prison became known around the world, its reputation was no longer based only on its architecture. It was the people held inside who transformed the facility into a symbol of America's most extreme approach to federal incarceration. Over the years, the prison has housed individuals convicted of serious crimes, including terrorism, espionage, organized crime, and other offenses that brought extraordinary security concerns. Their cases turned the distant Colorado facility into a place surrounded by questions about danger, punishment, and the limits of confinement. Yet the most important story may be what the prison represents rather than any individual inmate. Its walls reflect a difficult balance between protecting the public and preserving basic human needs. Extreme security can reduce opportunities for violence and unauthorized contact, but it can also create profound separation from ordinary society. Inside a system built around control, questions about rehabilitation become especially complicated. How can someone prepare to return to society when almost every part of daily life is carefully restricted? For the officers who work there, the responsibility is equally serious. They operate in an environment where routine can never mean carelessness. Security procedures must be followed, technology must function, and decisions must be made carefully. Behind every reinforced door is a human being. But behind every security measure is also a responsibility to protect staff, prisoners, and the public. Today, the prison remains one of the clearest examples of how far modern incarceration can go when security becomes the highest priority. Its concrete walls may keep dangerous individuals contained, but they also raise a larger question that extends far beyond Colorado. When a society builds a place designed to control nearly every aspect of a prisoner's life, where should the line between necessary security and human dignity be drawn? That question has no simple answer. And perhaps that is the most enduring mystery behind America's most secure prison. Not what is hidden behind its walls, but what those walls reveal about the society that built them.